welcome to this episode of Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something really powerful, but really simple, a way to calm stress, help your body work in the way that it was designed, and even improve your digestion. This struggle of stress is everywhere. And the consequence of low level stress on your health and so many other things, mental, physical, emotional health, it can't be overstated. And often we just don't realize how much it's impacting our health. So what happens when we're feeling stress? Well, when we're in what's called a stress response, that fight, flight, freeze, and it might not be super dramatic, like, thinking about running away from danger. It doesn't have to be that dramatic for our body to register that response, that stress response. When we're in that stress response, our blood flow shifts away from digestion because it has better things to do at that moment in time than deal with whatever food we have in our system. And our heart rate can speed up, our breathing can speed up. Not always are we going to notice these if it's not an intense stress response, but we can still be in a stress response. And our body prioritizes survival over rest and digest. Obviously, that's a really good design. But now what happens when we're in a relaxation response? Well, in a relaxation response, our nervous system calms down our heart rate. It lowers our heart rate. It lowers the stress that we're feeling. Blood flow returns to our digestive system. When we're in that relaxation response, our body feels safe. And so it's going to have all of its normal natural functions functioning in their optimum state. Nutrient absorption improves. Immune system functions better. How we breathe and how calm we feel actually affects how well we digest and how well we heal. So what I had learned about stress response and relaxation response in relation to eating when I was doing my training at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. And I started practicing that. And I noticed a difference when I would practice getting myself into a relaxation response before I ate. I would notice a difference in that. And what I didn't expect were the other benefits that I'd feel. I used to work in an accounting office, and for anybody who's ever worked in an accounting office, you know the stress of tax season. The closer tax day gets, the more that stress ramps up. And I would, on April 15th, I would just go home from work and just eat a peanut butter sandwich and want to just do nothing for a couple of days. I was exhausted, just stressed out from all of the deadlines, all of the rush, 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 all of the effort to get all those tax returns done and filed in a timely manner. So once I started my training at the Institute, then I was practicing this relaxation breathing before I ate for the sake of getting better digestion going when I was eating. I was really shocked to find out when I got to April 15th that year, I felt fine. What had happened is all during tax season, while I was practicing this, getting myself into relaxation response for the sake of eating and how it was going to affect my body and its digestion, it was having all kinds of other effects. And that year, I didn't feel the burnout. I didn't feel the stress. I didn't feel the same exhaustion that was just bone deep when I got to the end of tax season. I felt like I could just keep going. That's when I became a real believer about the importance of slowing down. Now, of course, this affects a lot of areas of our life, but in this case, we're going to focus in on how it can affect our eating. That same shift that I felt in tax season is available to all of us anytime we choose to get into that relaxation response. So there are multiple ways that you can do this. I think one of the simplest and easiest to remember is called box breathing. Maybe you've heard of that before. With box breathing, you take a slow inhale for a count of 4, then you hold your breath for a count of 4, and then a slow exhale for the count of 4, and you hold that for a count of 4. Simple, right? So the benefit of this is that it regulates our nervous system. It reduces anxiety. It can aid digestion and increase focus. So let's practice it together. We're going to do it 3 times together. Again, slow inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and hold that for 4. I want you to notice how you feel now compared to how you feel when we're done. So here, let's do this together. So starting now, inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. And again, inhale, nice and slow. 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Let it out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time. In. Hold. Release. And hold. Now, my guess is you feel a little more centered, a little calmer than you did, unless you were super calm and relaxed when we first started this episode. But you can take this tool and use it anytime, anywhere. That's one of my favorite things about it. You can use it for so many things. If you're sitting in traffic and feel yourself starting to get stressed because you're going to be late or because the person in front of you is driving you crazy with how they're driving, try this. Do a little box breathing. Get centered again. Get into that relaxation response, and you'll help your body and so many of its systems in so many ways. I would encourage you to really use this before you eat. And that one of the beauties of it is it's so simple, that you could do it anytime, anywhere, but also it's not something like, oh, hold on a minute, I need to do my little ritual here. It's something so simple that people aren't even going to notice you're doing it. So you can do it anytime, any place without disrupting anything. And you can decrease your stress, you can increase your digestion, and you can have more peace. Yay. And the long-term effects of learning to regulate our nervous system like that can't be overstated, because we live in a stressful world, that's for sure. And all of us have stress in different situations. And even if we can just calm ourselves down for a moment, that gives our bodies and our minds so much to work with. There's so much science behind how this works. This is just a little drop in the bucket of the science behind it. If you're a sciencey kind of person, then I would really recommend that you go learn more about this if you haven't already. So stress or emotional struggles around food are part of your personal journey, I'd love to offer you a free coaching call, 30 minutes just chatting together, helping you to find tools that are going to help you in this, whatever areas you're struggling with. So you can book that call at bit.ly/nourishing chat, or you can text me at 530-329-4234 and just tell me, I want more peace. Or are you going to help with emotional or with breathing or whatever it is? However you want to word it, just let me know and we can connect. You can find that phone number and that link in the description for this episode of the podcast. So thanks again for listening. Hope this is helpful. Remember, just breathe. You take your breath with you everywhere you go, whether you want to or not. And if you use it intentionally, you can really change your life in a lot of ways. So remember, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Hope this is helpful. And remember, at Nourishing Body and Soul, eating is peaceful, movement is joyful, and your worth is never up for debate. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Nourishing Body and Soul, the podcast. Before we wrap up, we just want to remind you that the information we share in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended for medical advice. While we hope you find our discussions helpful, we strongly recommend that you seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or any other aspect of your health. We also want to make it clear that the host, guests, and producers of this podcast are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences that may result from the use of any information or suggestion discussed in this podcast. We care about your well-being, but we can't take responsibility for individual outcomes. By listening to this podcast, you agree to indemnify and hold harmless the hosts, guests, and producers of this podcast from and against any and all claims, damages, liabilities, costs, and expenses arising from your use of the information provided in this podcast. We're so grateful for your support, and we hope you keep listening and learning with us. Thanks.